advocacy to advance drug development, how patient advocacy can drive change. I think we're going to change the order a little and start with Nancy and Jonathan Gardner, since you guys have slides. So Nancy and Jonathan are a mother and son advocacy team from Massachusetts who work together to improve the lives of people with disabilities and those affected by cancer. There's a little bit more about them in the bio sheet that you guys have, and we'll let them take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nancy Gardner, and this is my son Jonathan.
What's up?
We are both really honored to be here with you all today. And like many families, we never imagined we would become advocates for.
Yep.
Our advocacy journey actually began long before cancer. After Jonathan experienced restraint and seclusions at school, we joined other families and advocates to help pass our first piece of legislation. That experience taught us something we'll never forget. One family story really can make a difference. So when our lives shifted completely in 2021 with Jonathan's Ewing sarcoma diagnosis, we knew we couldn't stay silent. Like every parent, our only goal was to get Jonathan through treatment. We assumed that after decades of research, there would be more options. We really did, and after more than 40 years, we thought there would be. And finding out there wasn't, that was really heartbreaking. Those drugs saved Jonathan's life, and we will always be profoundly grateful to his medical team. But survivors deserve treatments that don't leave them fighting lifelong side effects. That experience changed why we advocate. We realized advocacy isn't just about sharing our story. It helps shape research priorities, influences policy, brings in funding, and ultimately helps move better treatments to patients. One of the biggest lessons we've learned is that lawmakers can't solve problems they don't know exist. Data matters, but stories are what people remember. When you meet with a congressional office, you become the face of sarcoma. Today, Jonathan and I advocate at both the state and national levels. In Massachusetts, we are working to establish July as Sarcoma Awareness Month and increase investment in research. We're also advocating to protect healthcare access because treatment doesn't end when chemotherapy does. Our work also extends beyond cancer. Through Operation House Call with the ARC of Massachusetts, we help educate future healthcare professionals about caring for people with autism and intellectual and developmental disabilities. We're proud to have helped advocate to codify this program into Massachusetts law. Ensuring this vital education reaches future physicians across the state because people with autism and other disabilities deserve access to compassionate, high-quality medical care. If you're wondering how to make a difference, start by telling your story. You don't have to be a policy expert. One conversation, one email, or one meeting can plant that seed for meaningful change. We're here today because Jonathan was willing to share his story. And we're still sharing it because future patients deserve better. And now, I will introduce you to someone that makes my heart so happy and I'm so proud of my son Jonathan.
Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Gardner. I am an Ewing sarcoma survivor, I'm a state and national advocate, and I also happen to have autism. So, can I ask you a quick question, all of you? Raise your hand if you've ever used a technology that is over 40 years ago. It could be from the past or anything like that. Just something from 40 years ago. So, you'll understand what I mean by this now. So, imagine if the world was, one second, I didn't realize I was close to my mic. Forget it. But yeah, no. Imagine in 2026, we were still using that type of technology every day. TVs would be the same, let's see here, TVs, phones, everything that's come to know, especially video games, which I'm a pretty big fan of. So imagine, see those pixels right over there? Those would still be going on. And now we have these. And don't get me wrong, I love those pixels as much as anyone. Here's the thing, I own like probably most of those consoles up there. But we want to have new experiences. We want to have creative new options. Everything would just still be, well, same old. Now imagine every single game like that. Now then, since I went completely off topic there, give me a second. Now, imagine all of that right over there was still here. The TVs, the technologies, the phones, the video games were the exact same with no changes at all. That sometimes is exactly what fighting sarcoma feels like. Many of the chemotherapy drugs that treat me have been used ever since the 1980s. Don't get me wrong, those drugs saved my life. I will always be incredibly grateful to my oncology team, who are like family to me, and to everyone who helped me stand here today. But those treatments came with a heavy cost. Today, I still live with chronic fatigue, memory challenges, mobility issues, and gut problems. I am profoundly thankful to be alive, but I also believe future patients deserve better. Just like video games got faster, graphically more intensive, every single year, cancer treatment should keep getting better as well. Patients deserve new ideas, new discoveries, and new hope. That's why patient voices are so important. We make sure research focus on what matters most to the people actually living with the disease. These breakthroughs happen when patients, families, researchers, industries, and lawmakers all work together. So what can one advocate really do? A lot more than you think, actually. Every email you send, every phone call you make, and every meeting you have with a legislator matters. Every conversation with a researcher matters. Advocacy is how we unlock the next level. For me, advocacy is about standing up for what's right, making our voices heard, no matter how we communicate, and working to improve the systems that affect our lives. I don't want future patients fighting cancer with yesterday's technology. They deserve better treatments, they deserve tomorrow's treatments. And just the other day, Governor Maura Healey presented me with a proclamation officially recognizing July as Sarcoma Awareness Month in Massachusetts. That shows us that when we share our stories, speak up, and keep advocating, our voices really can create change. Now, Mother, if you please.
Thank you, Jonathan. If there's just one thing we hope you take away from our story today, it's this. Advocacy isn't about having all the answers. It's about making sure the people making the decisions hear from the people whose lives are actually affected. You don't have to be a scientist or work in a laboratory. You simply have to be willing to share your story, because your story is something that no one else can tell. Your story helps researchers understand what life is really like beyond the diagnosis. Like when the doctor that just was up here and said that, someone said, why are you doing this for Ewings? I'll tell you why, because his life matters. That's why. That's what we need to tell them. It just, every life matters. Over the years, we've learned that you never know where one conversation will lead. A meeting with a legislator can become a new law. A conversation with a researcher can spark a new idea. One advocate can inspire another family to find their voice. We can't promise that every single conversation will change things, but we do know this: if we stay silent, nothing will ever happen. So write that email, schedule that meeting, and share your story. Every voice matters. Every life matters. Every advocate moves this field forward. The next breakthrough in sarcoma research may happen in a laboratory, but it also starts with someone deciding they don't want the next family to go through what theirs did. That is the power of advocacy, and that is why every single voice in this room matters. Thank you.
Thank you both so much.
We do have toolkits that we can hand out.
Yeah. Great, yeah, thank you both so much for sharing your story and all your advocacy efforts. Next we'll hear